Plan 75 is a dystopian drama film about a futuristic Japan. In the near future, after a shocking act of violence, the government enacts Plan 75, which is a sort of plan where if you're 75 years or older, they'll give you money. You join this sort of, you sign up, all your information, and essentially you agree to terminate your own life eventually. That way you stop being a socio-economic burden on the next generation. So this is sort of an ensemble piece. We're focusing on several different characters. There's an older woman, an older man. There's 3 employees of this Plan 75, and we're sort of exploring all the different aspects of the plan. The movie kind of meanders a lot throughout the film. It's pretty slow. It's a full 2 hours. The opening's pretty shocking. It sort of sets up the mood, but then we're sort of going into the sort of slice of life mode where we're exploring all the different characters. So there's the smallest role, I think, is a Filipino woman who ends up becoming an employee. She gets a good job through a connection, but it ends up being something a lot different. She basically has to deal with the after effects of people who have euthanized themselves, and she's working with someone who's a little bit grown callous and desensitized to the whole thing, and she's fresh, and it's taking an emotional toll on her. There's another young woman who is an employee who's supposed to answer phone calls for these elderly people. She ends up bonding with the main elderly female character, and it affects her too. And we also have a recruiter of sorts. He's a young man who's sort of not too conflicted, but he finds himself being targeted by vandals and stuff like that. Small things where, you know, it's a job for him, but it's potentially, you know, pushing people to end their own lives. It's not very ethical. And then we got an elderly man who doesn't have his faculties, and another woman who's looking for work. And there's a bit of an ensemble piece, so there's a lot of characters. I felt following the employees was more interesting, thorough line, but the main focus was on the elderly and how they deal with subtle ageism from society. This is a very heavy-handed film, but I felt the movie was really emotional in the last 30 minutes. The rest of the movie is a bit of a chore to get through. The opening is pretty shocking, and then it's kind of slow for about an hour, and then hour and a half, and then we finally get some emotional sort of payoffs. It's a brutal film. It's a debut from the director Chi Hayakawa, and it's a pretty strong debut. So, you know, it's definitely a sobering look at how we treat elderly people, but it's not too preachy and well acted. So I give Plan 75 a 6 out of 10.